Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I am so prepared for this video today. I have my 3 books with me. I also have my reading glasses, my new reading glasses that I purchased, and I have my coffee for today. So I'm ready to get in and read these meditation books and talk about them. All right, let's get into them. See what A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel has to say to us today. It is July 19th. See if it's a good one. Oh, let go now. This will probably be a good one, since this is one of my favorite concepts, the concept of letting go. Let go of that thing that you've held on to for far too long, that emotion that keeps you closed off, that job that makes you feel lost inside, or that person who doesn't serve your highest self. Whatever it is that you find yourself begrudgingly holding on to, let it go. Even if letting go means just taking the first step in the direction of change, go toward it. Letting go will look different for each of us, and letting go is a process. Not sure what it is you need to let go of? Take a long, deep breath. Look directly into a mirror and ask yourself. Speaking to our own image has a way of bringing to awareness the things that may be hidden in your unconscious. I love this meditation. I think most of us know what thing that we need to let go of, you know? It's the thing that we complain to our friends about the most. It's the thing that we talk to our partners or our family members about the most. It's the thing that we ask ourselves, is it crazy or are we crazy? You know, the thing that we like perpetually obsess about in our minds, the things that we can't let go of, the thing that brings us more misery than happiness. Those are the things that we need to let go of in our life. We are here for but just a moment, right? To spend time doing things that don't make us happy, it's pointless, right? Now, I do want to say this as far as like jobs and careers when it comes to that. You know, it'd be really easy to say, you know, screw this job, I'm out of here, and just like leave a job like that. But the reality is that we need to pay the bills and put, you know, a roof over our head and food for us and our families. So we can't do that. But if you're in a job that you're not happy in, to say to yourself, you know, like, I'm not happy doing this anymore, or I'm not happy where I'm working, or I don't like the people that I work with, or whatever. I do think that the grass is always greener on the other side kind of mentality. That maybe, like, if you're working in a situation where all the people that you work with you don't like, maybe take a look and see, am I part of the problem? I do think that that's important as well. But, you know, if your job doesn't bring you happiness, because you don't have to have a life-changing job, right? I mean, your job literally could be the, you know, the greeter at, you know, Meijer or Walmart. There's a woman that works at the Meijer that I go to, which is like a Walmart or a Target, and she's so happy every day that I walk in there, and she's always like, hi, how are you? And she remembers people, and she, you know, like, she loves that job. And I believe that her job is very, very important to the world. You know, she's brightening people's days. She's making people happy. And, so, you know, I think that you have to take a look at what your job is and say, what is it about this that's not making me happy anymore? And then put into plan, you know, like, or put into place a plan, like starting to look at other places that maybe are similar to what you do, but maybe it'd be a different environment, or the hours are different, or maybe the people that you would work with are different, or things like that. Or maybe it's a job where you're sitting instead of standing. Like, that can be such a huge difference to so many people, right? You know, maybe it's like you're not working on the weekends anymore and you're just working Monday through Friday, or maybe it is that you are working on the weekend, you know, and you have 2 days off during the week because that's good for a lot of appointments and things like that. It just depends on what it is you're looking for, right? But then putting it into like a plan into place. I had a friend of mine that way back in the day told me a vital piece of wisdom that I have followed ever since she told me this. And at the time, I believe it had to do with a relationship that I was in, but I don't remember necessarily it's been 20 years. But I was talking to her about something, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what to do with this and whatever. And she said, pick a time limit to do it on. You know, I've talked about this on here before. She said, pick a time limit to, you know, that of making a change. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, it could be 3 days, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 6 days, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 6 months, it could be 6 years. But pick a day and circle it on the calendar, or write yourself on a Post-it note, you know, whatever date, March 2nd, 2022, or March 3rd, 2022, you know. And between now and that time, put in everything you possibly have into fixing that, like on your end. Come in, to the relationship or come into work every day with like a different attitude. Try to talk to people, try to, have more date nights or fix whatever is going on, whether it's a relationship or work or a friendship or whatever it is. Try to do whatever you can maybe it's a living environment. Maybe you're living with roommates that you don't get along with, Try to, do whatever you can to make that situation from your point of view better, right? And then when you come to that date, if things have not improved, get out. Get out and start before then having a plan in place so that because if by that point you get to that date and things haven't changed, you're probably like, if things haven't changed by then, they're not going to change. It's going to continue to be this way for years and years and years, and I'm going to stay in an unhappy situation, and why should I do that? And I just remember her saying that to me, and I've done that ever since. And, when Alex and I entered marriage counseling, one of the things, and he knew that I believed in that kind of concept, and one of the things that we agreed to was that we were going to give it a year, and we were going to do everything we possibly could, and we were going to give it our all. We were going to give our marriage everything that we had for a year, and if at the end of the year our marriage wasn't any better, that we would go our separate ways, and we would say, well, we've given it everything that we can, and here it is 4 or 5 years later, and we're still together. And I think that and it was funny because I picked up my husband last night from the airport. He got back into town late last night. His flight got delayed, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so he went to Miami with his girlfriend this weekend for her birthday. And so I pulled up and I was sitting outside, and I could see him come down the stairs and go over to the baggage carol, and he was waiting for his bags. And I texted him and I said, I can see you inside. He's like, you can. And I almost got kind of teary-eyed. I was like, I love this guy so much, I love my husband. And I was so excited to see him, and I don't know. And then he got in the car, and it's like, I said, I really missed you. He's like, I missed you too. He's like, I talked about you the whole weekend. But I think sometimes we don't tell people how much they really mean to us, it's easy for me to sit in a car and cry over my husband, but then I don't give him the same reception when he gets in the car, you know what I mean? But I think it's a really good practice to set a time limit on how much you're going to, endure, and then say, okay, if at this point things don't change, then it's time for me to, get out. So try that with whatever you're doing. Just try it with something small, to start. That's what I did, and I realized over time that it was really true, All right, let me look at the next two. July 19th. Here, let me put my reading glasses on so I can see these. In the language of letting go, let's see what that's about. Oh, I pulled it right to itself. Proving it to ourselves. Let me see what the one in Journey to the Heart is about. Because I don't know what proving it to ourselves means. It doesn't sound like a bad meditation, but I just want to see if this one is maybe. The lessons are love. Let's read the lessons are love. I love talking about love, and if you watch my vlogs, I always say, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. A friend of mine says that to me. And then the 4 agreements that I read for this channel says to always lead with love. I love the ideas of love and compassion, forgiveness and understanding. I love those concepts. Kindness. Any attribute that I think, or any action that comes from a point of love, I think, what can be wrong with that, So, and I always say, I love to be in love. Don't you love to be in love? July 19th, the lessons are love. Lessons of love, that's what they are. We usually don't know what the lesson is while we're learning it. That is so true. Maybe we're not supposed to. Besides, if we knew it, really knew it, we wouldn't need to learn it. We'd already be practicing it in our daily lives. But even when we don't know what the lesson is, we can know one thing. It's a lesson of love. Courage, faith, patience. Loving ourselves when it looks and feels like nobody else cares. Starting over again one more time when we think we've already started over again more times than we should have had to. Forgiveness, compassion, gentleness. I love the word gentleness. Joy. Each one is a lesson of love. For many of us, the problem isn't that we haven't had love in our lives before. The issue is that we haven't understood love. Know this. Not only are the lessons about love, the lessons themselves are love. Feel your feelings. Struggle through your situations and experiences and emotions. The struggle to learn isn't incidental to your purpose. It's an integral part of your purpose, your destiny, your reason for being. Go through your moments of darkness and confusion and trust that the light will come. Through it all, rest in one thought. You're on track. You're on your path. You're connected to love. You're connected to God. And the lessons you're learning are lessons of love. Oh, I love that so much. And I think that's where we get to a point where we love ourselves enough to allow ourselves to grow and to learn along the way and to not beat ourselves up. You know, if you think about this when you're young, you know, and if you're a parent and you have a young child, or if you're a teacher, you know, teachers and parents, well, good ones, I think at least, you know, when kids make a mistake in something they're doing, you know, they don't scream or yell at them. They're like, no, this is a different way to do it, and this is, you know, how we add this way, or clean things up this way, and we do it in a very compassionate, kind way, right? And that's how we teach. We teach in kind, compassionate ways. At least I feel grateful that the majority of my teachers that I had and the people in my life taught me in kind, compassionate ways. I think we learn better that way. I do, you know? At the same time, I think that direct kindness, you know, also is a teaching method. But I think it becomes a point when we start treating ourselves like the child inside of us, the way that we would treat a child that we knew, if that makes sense. And we start loving ourselves in the same level, that you almost kind of see yourself as from afar, kind of like, and treating ourselves as compassionately and lovingly and gently and with kindness that we would to a child in our lives, or, you know, a small pet or something like that, you know, with just this absolute kindness, compassion, and gentleness and love, you know. And when you start treating yourself that way, then you start acknowledging that the lessons that you're learning in life take time. They don't happen overnight. You don't berate yourself when you're learning lessons slowly. You go, aha, like there's another time it happened to me again. Aha, it's happened again. But I'm learning it quicker. And one day I won't have to learn the lesson anymore because the lesson will have been learned. But you don't beat yourself up about it, because why would you, you know? And it's about treating ourselves with a loving, kind way, you know? And it takes us it took me 40 years, I think, to get there, maybe 45, you know, to love myself enough to start treating myself in a loving way. But we deserve it, you know? And I think once we finally get to the point where we love ourselves enough to realize that we're going to make mistakes too, that we're not perfect examples of people, and that we're going to continue to grow on a daily basis, I think we start treating people the same way. And because we have a higher capacity of love then, you know? So anyway, I love you. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And if you need to hear this, whatever you're going through, you're going to make it through. The sun is going to shine again, and this too shall pass. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.